listening to Coffee and Conversation with Recovery Advocate Network, the nonprofit organization that strives to address the staggering disparity in resource availability for individuals suffering from mental health disorders, processing disorders, addictions, trauma healing, and sexual identity challenges. Together, we strive to end the stigma associated with these challenges so that true healing can begin.
Welcome back to Coffee and Conversations Between the Lines Blog Club series. My name is Joshua Young, and this is episode number 88, where the incredibly talented Elijah Alexander will read my blog post entitled Confronting Teen Suicide, A Father's Perspective. Elijah, a graduate of the Yale School of Drama and recipient of the Fox Fellowship, has built a notable career spanning 17 years across stage, screen, and voice acting. He is currently filming season 5 of The Chosen and continues to tour with his work The Mitzvah Project, a social justice-themed educational program and one-man performance piece. Elijah has appeared in numerous TV and film projects such as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jag, and Touch, to name a few. He's also narrated over 27 audiobooks, including James Jones' award-winning novel From Here to Eternity. You can currently see Elijah in the play The Lifespan of a Fact at the Aurora Theater Company in Berkeley, California, which is running through the end of July. On a side note, he's also competing in a triathlon on August 11th to raise money for families dealing with pediatric cancer. Additionally, Elijah supports the Maslow Project, which is an amazing organization in Medford, Oregon that helps unhoused and orphaned teens struggling with mental health challenges, getting their basic needs met while providing them with the resources to mental health care counseling, education, and work placement. Please visit Elijah's website at elijahalexander.net for a more detailed bio, news, and his current and upcoming projects. We want to thank Elijah for volunteering to read for us here at RAN, and you can find out more about him and the links to his current play, website, charities, and so on in the show notes. Between the Lines episodes are written by guests who prefer to use their written voice instead of their interview voice to share their stories. As a reminder, the views expressed in any blog are the views of the author, and the purpose is to provide a safe place for the author's voice to be heard. Just a quick reminder about Recovery Advocate Network, or RAN. RAN's mission is to support individuals dedicated to their recovery journey, but facing challenges due to insurance loopholes. We are on the verge of funding our first bridge grants, which will provide crucial financial assistance to those in need. Your contribution, no matter how small, can make a significant difference in changing and saving lives. We are grateful to have you as a part of our community, so please consider visiting our website at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org and clicking the donate button today. So, what are we waiting for? Fill up your coffee, sit back, and let's get started.
Confronting Teen Suicide, A Father's Perspective, written by Joshua Young. Read by Elijah Alexander. As a father of 4 children, 2 of whom are teenagers in high school, the topic of teen suicide is one that grips my heart with a profound sense of urgency and fear. The experience of parenthood brings so much joy, but when I consider the fragile mental health landscape of today's adolescents, it also brings worry. I am deeply concerned about my teenagers' well-being because the world they navigate is filled with pressures and anxieties unimaginable to me at their age. They contend with the omnipresence of social media, academic demands, and the pervasive uncertainty of the future. Growing up, I struggled with deep depression stemming from 16 months of sexual abuse at the age of 13, which left invisible scars that have taken decades to heal. That darkness enveloped my adolescence and manifested in severe anxiety, societal ideation, isolation, and a prolonged battle with alcoholism that I used as a crutch to numb the pain. I know all too well the feeling of seeing no way out of the pain. Thus, when I hear statistics about the current state of mental health among teenagers, I feel a personal connection that compels me to understand this crisis on a deeper level. Teen suicide has become a pressing issue over the years. According to recent studies, suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers in the United States, with over 6,600 lives lost annually between the ages of 10 and 24. Even more alarming is that the rate of suicide among young people has been on the rise over the past decade. The CDC reports a significant increase in suicide rates among young people aged 10 to 14, with the rate tripling in this group in recent years. These numbers are devastating, not just in their magnitude, but because they represent so much unfulfilled potential and unacknowledged pain. Adolescents often find themselves battling an internal storm that is all too easy to overlook from the outside. They face struggles that range from academic pressures to bullying and rejection in various social spheres. Moreover, the ubiquitous nature of social media amplifies feelings of inadequacy and exclusion. It creates a distorted reality where everyone seems to be living a happier life, compounding the feelings of isolation for those who are struggling. For teenagers already vulnerable due to mental health conditions like depression and anxiety, this emotional burden becomes unbearable. They perceive no escape from their pain, and the hopelessness festers into suicidal ideation. Many feel ashamed of their suffering, convinced that their struggles make them weak or unworthy. They worry about burdening their families with their problems or being dismissed or misunderstood. Tragically, this stigma keeps them silent until it's too late. One of the most heart-wrenching aspects of this epidemic is that it's not limited to any specific demographic. Suicide affects teenagers across all racial, socioeconomic, and geographic lines. It doesn't discriminate. However, some groups are more vulnerable than others. For example, LGBTQ+ teens face a significantly higher risk due to discrimination and societal stigma, while indigenous youth are also at elevated risk due to historical trauma and ongoing marginalization. In my research, I found that one crucial element in prevention is fostering open communication at home. Teenagers need to know that they have a safe space to express their emotions without fear or judgment or invalidation. But this isn't as simple as just saying, "You can talk to me." As a parent, I realize that it requires building an environment of trust, consistency, and unconditional love. We must be vigilant for signs of distress that our teens may be too scared to verbalize, such as sudden changes in behavior, withdrawal from friends and activities, or expressing feelings of worthlessness. Schools, too, play a vital role in supporting teens' mental health. Mental health education should be woven into the curriculum, reducing stigma and encouraging teens to seek help. Counselors need to be better equipped to identify at-risk students and provide support. Peer support groups and mental health awareness campaigns can also create a sense of community that combats isolation and encourages students to reach out. As a father who has lived through his own mental health struggles, I understand how difficult it can be for teenagers to open up. I know the despair that leads to seeing no way out, and the desperate attempts to cope with unbearable feelings. But I also know that recovery is possible. Healing requires patience, understanding, and a collective commitment to reducing stigma around mental health. We must advocate for better access to mental health resources and ensure our teens know that they are never alone in their fight. Talking about suicide is uncomfortable. It's an admission of a grim reality we wish didn't exist, but we must be willing to confront it head-on if we want to create meaningful change. By educating ourselves and others, promoting open dialogue, and advocating for mental health resources, we can help our teens find hope even in their darkest hours. Above all, we need to remember that every life matters. Every life lost is one too many. And for our children, we must do better.
Thank you for joining us today with your coffee and conversation. We hope you've been encouraged and learned something from today's story. To learn more about today's guest, please check out our show notes for more details. Now it's time to remember to like this episode, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to ensure you do not miss future episodes. Recovery Advocate Network envisions a world where individuals with mental health challenges receive comprehensive and effective treatment without the worry of financial burdens to themselves or their families, all without the stigmas often present in society. We are proud that every individual worked with RAN does so on a 100% volunteer basis. You can support the mission by making a financial donation via PayPal or Venmo, or email donate@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org if you would like to donate items for our next fundraising auction. Please visit our website at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org to learn more. Now, stay in the loop about upcoming events, future episodes, and more by following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, TikTok, LinkedIn, and all major podcast platforms. As a reminder, the experiences and advice expressed in this episode are the host and guest's own personal stories and do not represent the opinions of any organization mentioned. RAN is passionate about opening the doors for all voices and experiences, not just those expressed in any particular podcast. If you want to share your experiences or expertise, we encourage you to be a future guest by emailing us at podcast@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org or submit a blog by emailing blog@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org. We also encourage you to comment on the episode so that we can continue to provide content that is most beneficial to the community. How do you do that? Visit our website at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org, and in the top right corner, click that comment button and comment. So listeners, what do you need to do? Pause what you're doing, subscribe, follow us. Please give us a like and a 5-star rating, write some meaningful comments, and most importantly, share these episodes with your friends. You never know whose heart you will touch, so please be a part of a reason someone has new hope today. If this episode was triggering to you, we encourage you to contact your support system, therapist, national and community support groups, the Global Crisis Text Line by texting 741-741, and or if in the U.S., dialing 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you're in the U.S. and need additional resources such as shelter, support group resources, transportation, food, and or a safe, confidential path out of physical or emotional domestic abuse, please call 211 or visit www.211info.org for assistance. Now, we know you are very busy, and we are grateful that you said yes to sharing time with us today. If you stuck to our 3 C's of engagement and listened to the full episode, then visit the podcast section of our website and leave the comment about the podcast, and you'll be entered to win an autographed copy of one of the books from one of our book club series, as well as a coffee and conversation coffee mug. So, thanks again. Until next time, back to your coffee.